Last match of the night, people, and I'm your host, Golden Boy, joined by Brent in Sideshow. Now, the thing is, Boston has been an incredible story all season long. You see, when this league first launched and they made their announcement, everyone was like, really? You know?
Yeah,
Like, really?
yeah, they were. Yeah.
Right? And everyone expected them to play poorly at the beginning of the season. But then out of nowhere, they just go on a 14-match win streak. I mean, this team's contending for stage finals. They have all this potential. And then now things have changed again. This team just cannot seem to keep themselves steady. Although they're in fourth place, I mean, so much has changed.
But they're in fourth place, but they're also going downwards as well. You know, they had an unbeaten stage 3, came second overall in stage 3. They're currently sat at 11th in stage 4. That's a massive drop down. They are on their way down, and it's very possible that they could miss out on overall playoffs, whilst previously they were clearly the second best team in the league.
I mean, you see how close the bubble is there. I mean, that is just, those are 1 or 2 matches, and that is the difference between you going to Brooklyn and you not. Or excuse me, you going to the playoffs and even playing for Brooklyn at that point. But now we have to talk about what's been going on. What's the situation, Brent?
Well, in my opinion, comes down to the fact that Stage 4 introduced Brigitte, new metagame as a result of it. It's drastically shifted things around here. For Boston, one of their star players is Striker, and he was most well known for his Tracer role. Brigitte is almost a hard counter to Tracer in a lot of ways. You can shut down Tracer players much more easily than you've been able to in the past as a result of it. This is probably also taking effect into it, but also the fact that Boston, when the meta changes, we saw this from stage 1 to stage 2, they look uncomfortable when they jump into a new patch. They have to change their play style, the way they like to play the game, which is this slow, methodical play style, and now they're just looking lost in these matches, uncoordinated. They're lacking the sort of focus firing capabilities that we've seen that they are capable of in stage 3. And look at these future games that they're up against. It is not easy for them. They're on a 5-match losing streak right now, and they've got Shock, Dynasty. They're still going to compete with New York. It's not looking great for Boston right now, and they need to shape up quickly right now if they want an opportunity to just hold their position in the playoffs.
So while the meta is one thing, what's been going on internally?
Yeah, so there's another really big difference, not just the meta, and it's the head coaching situation between these two teams. And it's spicy, let me tell you, because you can see the guy there on the right-hand side of your screen, Krusty, the new head coach for the San Francisco Shock, used to be the head coach of the Boston Uprising. He left the Boston Uprising to join the Shock, and it has made a huge difference to both teams. Now, we never know quite exactly what's going on in this dugout, but the empirical evidence is just right there before your eyes. You know, Boston, they have inexperienced players, and they have not looked good. They're not good at adapting to new metas without their head coach there, I think. And so they've gone from this mad winning streak to a mad losing streak. On the other side, San Francisco Shock now look really good, with Krusty making great use of guys like Choyobin and Sinatra, making them look really coordinated on their dives. Yeah. It's almost as if Huck has kind of given up his golden goose here, the thing that was making the team so good. It looks like they're missing it.
Interesting stuff. I mean, this is revenge for Krusty.
This is revenge for Krusty, Golden Boy. It's actually insane right now. He's jumped over to the Shock side of things. You know, wasn't going too well in Boston, and now Shock, you know, just going upwards and upwards, and Boston just going downwards and downwards. So, you know, it's shaping up to be super interesting, and for good reasons.
Well, not only is it, you know, good in the game and in the stage, the beef's been out there on social media as well. We actually seen a little of a Drake Pusha T style beef going on here with these teams. Brent, what's going on? Let me know.
Harsha posted this tweet. Krusty was the problem, you know, just to, you know, sort of egg them on a little bit. This was after Boston were losing their matches, and Mistakes comes back over there. Can't wait to farm you, the smiley face. But look at this. This is posted by the San Francisco Shock Twitter as well, mate. They are taking this to full Monty. I'm loving it, honestly. This kind of beef, this is what I've been waiting for between these teams. This history that's developing now between them. This match it's got so much on the line other than the playoff standings now, because there's the respect now of Krusty. You know, his honor is on the line here. If they don't win against the old team, you know, it's so cool.
Was Krusty so
sick? I love it.
My goodness, you can tell this is the kind of stuff that he lives for. We all live for it, man. We like the drama when it hits us heavy. That's what we like to see here at the Overwatch League. But now it's time to bring out your teams. The time for talking is past us. Let's welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, the Boston Uprising. So how does this Boston team, turn their luck around this stage. Can Team Huck have the luck? That's the question.
Well, the Boston Uprising have not been as dreadful in their recent games, right? They are on a 5-match loss streak, that is undeniable, but their two most recent games were incredibly close, actually. A 3-2 loss against the Valiant, who are doing really well, actually, at this stage.
Absolutely.
We just saw them take down the Gladiators. They look possibly like the second-best team. And then a 1-2 loss against London as well, who have turned things around and aren't looking too shabby themselves. So the Boston Uprising are slowly getting to grips with this new meta, I think, but it's much slower than expected.
Yeah.
And if it takes them any longer, they may well be out of the playoffs.
But Brent, this is like a really tough time to start to slow down. We're right at the end, and they need to make it.
They're at the finish line, Golden Boy. They are right there. They can taste, victory. They can taste that spot in Brooklyn, New York. It's right in front of them. But to do it, they're going to have to shape up their coordination. That's what I want to see from them today in this match. Is I want to see better coordination coming out from them that we know they are capable of. This team was renowned in Stage 3. They were my favorite team to watch because of how coordinated they were and how well they set up plays. And right now, we're not seeing that in Stage 4. But I've got hope, and I know that they can do it. So Boston, I want them to impress me today.
Well, Brent, I think we all want to see Boston impress us today, get that win on the board for Stage 4. But now it's time to welcome their opponents to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the San Francisco Shock. Currently 3-2 in Stage 4, and they are eking into the number 4 spot so they can make their way to the playoffs. And here's the thing, it's such a closely knit race. But these guys, can they keep the momentum going? I think that's what everyone wants to know.
I think they definitely can. San Francisco Shock have been making incremental improvements all season long. They were a team that was built for the long term. They knew Super and Sinatra only going to be coming in for Stage 3. Then they added Moth to the lineup as well. They've added in Architect. They've added Choyobin. Now they've added Krusty. The slow improvements are starting to pay dividends here. And they are now looking like a really well-coordinated team. And it's not just that they are going upwards and we can recognize that. Just using the eye test when they play with that kind of same previous Boston coordination.
Yeah.
You can see they're all on the same page. Their timing is perfect. They're all syncing up together. And this just tastes like Krusty.
It really does.
That just sounds so bad.
It really does. But the guy has an amazing name,
Yeah, it's got that impact. You can see his image, being made before.
He's the puppet master.
Yeah, the puppet master behind you is pulling the strings. It is always a pleasure now to watch the San Francisco Shock, which is something that I haven't been able to say before Stage 4. And now I'm loving it, mate. They are looking revitalized. They are looking fan-bloody-tastic.
Would you call this the Battle of the Crust?
No, do not ever say that again.
Why
Do
would
not
you
ever
call it
say that again.
But I bet you someone's gonna call it that now. Probably. All right, guys, so it's time to get into our final matchup of the day. This is shaping up to be a good one, folks. We got the Boston Uprising and the Shock. Let's send it over to your casters, Semler and Hex.
All right, thank you, Golden Uncle. So, I mean, seriously, man, it's not even a battle. It's just like clearly the crust is better. For everybody who grew up getting the crusts chopped off, of their sandwiches, no. In San Francisco Shock, they're figuring that out right now.
We finally said crust enough that I hate the word. And now I just hate the word.
We're going to find out this is going to be the Uncrustable series.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk about San Francisco, but I want to give just a shred of hope to Boston fans whose team is sinking like a stone right now.
Okay, Hex, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, Striker's been playing the Widow for this team a lot, and it's been trial by fire for him, but if you don't have a Widow, you don't have anything. Now, here's what I like about what they did against the Valiant. Watch Striker. He doesn't even try to battle soon. And look, he's below. You can tell because his icon's smaller. He's taking that lower route, so he's coming in from weird angles, and that's what you have to do as a Widow. First pick on a Kareev. Again, he's avoiding the Widow battle. He's taking unconventional angles. He goes all the way around back behind the arch now, and this is how you pressure a backline when you're not on Tracer. He's from the back. He's hitting all the certain shots that he needs. Super aggressive and plays like a team like Pine. Soon is finally going to challenge him, and then Soon says, bye-bye, right there. So Striker has just started playing this Widow for this team, and what's been struggling for them is they can't necessarily get to the backline. But that's how good Widows are playing. That's how Pine plays. That's how Saya plays. We saw it earlier in our match today. You get to the back line. You put pressure from 2 different angles. It's like diving with snipers, and you're still safe from the Brigitte. So Striker is learning that you gotta play stupid as a Widow in this league. You gotta play dumb in the back lines and get your shots.
Is it stupid or is it more like guerrilla warfare?
I mean stupid in the
like guerrilla
in the
tactics.
nicest of ways.
No, dude. Okay, Hex, come on. You can say stupid because sometimes plays are stupid, but they work, right?
Yeah,
You know, sometimes.
exactly.
And that's the power of those plays. Nobody's going to predict you making that play, but hell.
It's also self-awareness. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. He's not going to just sit there and battle soon. That's not what they want to do. They want to take out supports. They want to get to the back line. This is a dive-heavy team that can't dive anymore. So he's like, you know what? Grapple's pretty good. It's like Blinks. I'll get to the back line. I'll carry your supports that way. So he's learning on the fly how to play this Widowmaker, how to play it effectively. So I think that he's going to grow into this role. Hopefully, he better. They're on a five-match skid.
They are on a 5-match skid, and they are definitely struggling right now, Boston. And it seems like, I'm glad that a lot of emphasis was put on the coaching role going into this match because it does seem like that is a key factor here. Boston, ever since Krusty's gone, that's it. They have definitely struggled, and so he might have been the glue that was holding this team together, whereas San Francisco Shock, well, they're only looking better. Glad to see the Baby Bay is going to be starting things off here for the Shock. We didn't get to see him too often in recent times, but he has definitely made a resurgence here for this team.
He helps us fill out our diamond earring quota, right? So he's looking good on the stage, look good, play good. Baby Bay is going to be on the Widowmaker. On offense, we generally see him play a little bit of the Hanzo. Offensively, Boston's going to come in this with double sniper. It is Striker on that Widow. We'll see if he tries to engage in a Widow v Widow battle or does what we just saw him do in the top down against the Valiant and avoid it. Baby Bay taking out Gamsu, though, is brutal. They're going to have to res him immediately.
Yeah, they do get the res off, though, because that barrier was still alive, was still healthy. So Kelly's had a place to hide, and now they're going to go ahead and set up on the point. Nice hook coming in from Note to pull Choi out of position. Choi, is he going to be able to make it back out of here alive? He's trying to stay in the fight so that he can farm up a new mech, but it's not going to happen. AimGod finds him.
Striker was doing the same thing. He was going low ground and he forced a rotation out of several of the support players to try to go deal with him. Now they're putting a little pressure on the point, but they've lost mistakes early on. The hook does not connect. Sinatra's able to take down the opposing Hanzo there. Striker's still trying to look for this low ground angle that he took earlier. Now here comes a tire.
Yeah, that was a quick tire and instantly deleted. Striker not going to get caught sleeping. Are you kidding me? No, easy shot. Easy kill, and now, well, the pressure can keep going on here for Boston, who are playing this very patiently, really trying to play around these hooks, trying to play around Gamsu's barriers. Note decides it's time to go whole hog, and Striker missing key shots. Could have had a kill on Sinatra for free. Instead, Sinatra will remove mistakes.
You gotta make those shots. You gotta connect right there. Striker's now in a position behind the enemy team again. He's behind the archway again, forcing Transcendence out. Mistakes is back in the mix. Still bloodless during this fracas, though, as the big bodies on the point. Widow battles happening up close and personal up top. Striker barely escapes with his life.
And they are definitely making progress. They've got the tick, nearly 2, and a couple of big kills. Moth and Sleepy both dead here. This is going to be the opportunity that Boston are waiting for, that they've been so patient. And they will be able to find the kills to close it out here on the first point. So A will be picked up here by Boston. Not the fastest time, but definitely respectable. Just under 2 minutes.
A war of attrition, a slugfest that eventually just went Boston's way. They got 2 more kills during that engagement than the San Francisco Shotgun. 8-6, so this one very close so far. Striker about to have his infra sight up, a little bit ahead of Baby Bay here. I believe they both used it in the last fight. Baby Bay, I know at least didn't use it.
It's duel right now. Striker getting a bit more comfortable. Body shot, but he will get topped. And so now, exactly, we have the infrared sight in action here for Striker, allowing them to see through the walls, and this will make life a little bit more difficult here for San Francisco Shock. Things get interesting. Super holding on to that shield, maintaining it, ferrying his team back around the corner, and with the supercharger down and no real way to get in there to deny it, this is going to be really tough here for San Francisco Shock to hold against the pressure.
Sinatra's looking for something up here, but the tire is getting very low. Able to finish up the kill. Actually, ends up demeching. No, that's the hero that you want to take the tire. It must be. If you have to sacrifice somebody, you want to sacrifice your diva, you can get them back in, and even if they have to respawn, you can get them back in quickly because of boosts.
Well, we've got Sleepy back on board here. Nicely done there by Super, providing the cover for Moth to get in for the res. Oh, the headshot. Great punish from Striker. Sleepy getting greedy, going for the volleys, and now Striker off on the flank. Sinatra soon to follow. He's still hanging around. Tough target to lock down, and Striker eventually will have to back off, but he's already done his job. Never mind, he dies.
A little bit of a blind grenade there. Some would call it spam. I call it skill. No, I don't. Will come and takes down Sinatra. They will bring Striker back to fighting 4, so it's a 6v5 as we roll towards second. San Francisco on the back foot.
Yeah, shield is down for Super, and that means a dead man there. Mistakes will get him. Moth, however, Moth will trade it. Finds the kill on Mistakes. Self-destruct for a fresh mech. Not quite going to do it, but we're getting close to this second point now for the Boston Uprising. They are making progress, real progress, and that's really putting San Francisco in a bit of a tight spot. Super cut off from the rest of his team. Means that he shouldn't be lasting too long, but there wasn't quite enough damage to break his shield.
He gets back into there as well. Sinatra has switched over to the Brigitte. Hammer does go down. Didn't see if it knocked anyone down, but Transcendence gonna answer it back from both sides, so everyone's gonna live through this. And when the light fades, we will start the fight again.
Oh, 4 minutes, yeah, 4 meters rather. There's the contest behind the shield. Again, Super maintaining it. Can't back off, can't give too much ground here. Nearly sneaking it through, but Super able to tap the point just to contest in time. Mistakes is setting up. He could have the Dragon here to really try and clear things up. Exactly right onto the back line. No way for Moth and Sleepy to dodge. Perfect Dragon. That should definitely be the turning point here for Boston. Second point picked up with 3 minutes on the clock.
If Mistakes can get value out of this Hanzo without a Zarya, Boston's going to be much happier. Note has not been great on the Zarya. In fact, they usually bring Kalios to play that Zarya. Note much more comfortable on the Diva. It's his best hero. He's very, very good at it. And a lot of Hanzos have taken to just finding the right angles, using the Sonic Arrow to know where people are, and at the very least, you cut the map in half. May is considered the biggest map editor in the game, but Hanzo's got some of those same abilities.
Let's say we already have the rally going off by Sinatra, so plenty of armor on the team. San Francisco Shock, they took care to gather up and benefit from that, although it isn't going to help Baby Bay. Already dead. Mistakes there to pick it up. Sleepy, however, trades that, takes down Striker. Both Widows dead now for these teams, although as I say that, Baby Bay does get rezzed up on the defensive. Bit more of an opportunity there for Moth to bring him back into the fight, but that means we lose Choyobin's mech without the healing. And now you have the Trance getting thrown in here by Aim God, just ferrying him along. Nice self-destruct. Clever angle, but it doesn't quite find the kill.
Super was able to force out a couple ultimates with that Earth Shatter early on. He knocked out Note, and they had to transcend through it. Then he turned around, swiveled, and dodged all of that self-destruct. The Dragon comes through, doesn't find anything, though.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was some miscommunication there. If he was expecting there to be some kind of follow-up on it, because he did cut San Francisco Shock in half with that Dragon, but they weren't able to capitalize on it, Boston, and now Boston looking like they have to back off. Sinatra has had very quick rallies, 53 seconds to generate a rally.
Yeah, different than his first Dragon on second point there, where your choice is either go forward into the Hammer of my Reinhardt or back up into the Dragon. Either way, you're dead. That's how you want to use it without any CC on the map. You're right there. It cut them in half, but they just hung out on the cart and no one pressured them either back into the Dragon or into a bad situation up front.
And Striker trying to take advantage of this Impresight. A little bit of the free fire there, but the shield comes up on Super. Looking for it, but the punish, never mind, that's Gamsu getting forced off of the high ground. Gamsu trying to find an angle here to work with. He's got Primal. Shouldn't be too worried about getting laid out just yet. Bubble there to buy time, wants to use that first, gets knocked off. Oh, there, I mean, that's just going to be the zoning abilities there, thanks to the Brigitte.
Styx is able to get Baby Bay during that fight as well. So now there's really no sniper on the field trying to defend this. Yet another Dragon comes out, goes to the backline, cuts the entire team in half. Is self-destruct going to buy them time to regroup though? And they're going to turn this one right around.
Yeah, again, just countered immediately. These Dragons not quite finding their mark. Striker's just like, I'm having none of that.
It was either a missed grapple or he just reset. Doesn't matter either way. Missed grapple's funnier, but you know.
Thing is, well, yeah, it makes me wonder as far as these Dragons are concerned, if he's just throwing them out there, or if there is a tactical purpose in mind of just cutting them.
He's getting them
San Francisco in half.
Yeah, he's getting them pretty quick, so just tossing them out there is okay-ish, but the last couple have cut them in half to no avail. That last one, though, they couldn't really go forward because the self-destruct was sitting in a perfect spot. Last push for Boston Uprising trying to close out King's Row.
No, 15 seconds left. No third point so far.
They got a ton to work with right now, though. The only thing they're lacking is Dragon.
Well, Moth with the preemptive Valve, getting the wings out right now, the chain healing, chain damage boost, and the res as well will have the self-destruct thrown in. Super completely whiffing that Earth Shatter, not finding any love, and it's instead Note to get the kill on Choyobin with the self-destruct. Striker takes down Moth, and this is it, the opening here for Boston Uprising to end it, to pick up their third point. Super will take Gamsu for a ride all the way to the back, and Gamsu will survive just a little while longer. Big Dragon right through, but Super getting healed through it. And San Francisco shocked right now because they took the fight so far up. It's buying enough time for the Reses to come back in. The spawns favor them, and the fight continues.
Those are the kills they needed. Their Baby Bay was able to take out the opposing Mercy, and then the opposing Widow fell down. So now, all cleaned up right there. Yeah, Super got a little unlucky. Sometimes the Earth Shatter gets you when you're on top of the cart. I know, I've been on top of the cart, and I'm like, what? What was that? Sometimes it doesn't, apparently, because he had the baby diva dead to rights. That's why he wanted to get it. He's like, okay, she's out of mech. It's an easy kill. That's as good a kill as you're going to get. You know, you take down a baby diva. Does count as a kill. A little unlucky, but regardless, San Francisco will hold on Kings.
Yes. Much to Florida's dismay, Baby Diva does count as a kill. The mech does not. Roll back to Oasis.
Very close map records between these two teams, both at 500, the proverbial 500, 4-4 and 3-3 respectively, Boston and San Francisco. So this one's kind of a coin flip. You'd have to say with the recent results, though, you'd expect San Francisco to come out on this one. Boston has just been struggling to adapt to the meta. And you know what? They don't have a ton of options. It's not like, oh, we'll bring in, you know, our guy off the bench. There's no guy on the bench.
Yeah. You're a bit tapped right now for talent if you are on the Boston side of things. Striker going for the Widow, kind of supplanting Mistakes in that role. Mistakes seems to be adapting, seems to be kind of up to the challenge, but I mean, Mistakes has had his work cut out for him. They're constantly changing up his heroes. Comes in as a Tracer main, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we need you to play these other 5. Oh no, now we need you to play these other 5. It's like, guy can't catch a break.
Well, I think he kind of gave up the dream of being the Tracer main for this team a long time ago when we started seeing what Striker was doing. So he had been training on different heroes and different niche heroes just so he could have a chance to come into the game. That looks painful. That's why I don't do yoga.
That is, yeah, that's some next level aim god yoga. That's why he's called a god, Hex. They can do whatever they want. They can edit the world.
All right, we'll see what these teams want to run. Now, San Francisco, one of the few teams that will run a lot of Roadhog on first point. Of course, we did see it earlier today as well. Some teams are mixing it in, especially first point. You look for blind hooks through the hotel. And also, if you run into an Orisa, I mean, the alternative fire for Roadhog does a ton of damage very quickly. So you can crack shields a lot easier.
There's a lot of shield talk right now, but I'm excited to see some Baby Bay on the Hanzo. Last time we saw this, he was dominating, and I cursed him.
Yeah, he got the opposite result of that last time.
And I cursed him. Well, plenty more opportunities here for Baby Bay. We'll see if he changes it up. He is going to be sticking to the Hanzo for now, it looks like. Never mind, goes to the Widow. So it's going to be the Widow be Widow. No Hanzo this time around.
Yeah, last time he just hit a long-range arrow on an opposing Widow, and he was like, that's it, that's how you do it. Bow and arrow, long bow, ancient technology, but it still holds up.
If they can't see you, Hex, you know. Still, this is going to be the push coming in from San Francisco now that they changed it up. Baby Bay has decided to go back to the Hanzo. So we will be sticking to our guns here, to the game plan. Sinatra off on his own, the rest of the team wrapping around the point. Baby Bay finds the snipe on Mistakes tire. That's nicely done with the bow and arrow there. Note kind of taking a peek back here, and that is a body shot on to Hanzo, or onto Baby Bay rather, so not quite going to set it up. It looks like right now San Francisco Shock are still trying to find an opening. Moth with the Valk trying to make that happen as well, trying to facilitate it, but it's Striker to just flank Sinatra, no place to hide, and takes a bullet to the face.
It's a really good defensive rotation from Boston because San Francisco wanted to sit on that far point and just touch a toe on there and force them to come down. They didn't necessarily come down or switch their entrenched position. They sent Notes and Mistakes up over to that window, started raining death there. Mistakes rotated even further to the far window, so now you're getting naded over top. You got a Diva in the other window, there's no opening, and they still have their static position with the Orisa on the other high ground.
Yeah, no, there wasn't really the chance there, it looked like, for San Francisco. And so they've decided to completely change it up. Now we're into dive mode here. Super on the Winston, Baby Bay on the Genji. Sinatra has gone to Tracer, so let's see, are they going to find success with this composition, trying to get onto the high ground, trying to get in there to show chaos, but Gamsu decides to get the supercharger down. That's going to chase him away. A lot of damage getting cranked out here by Gamsu. Choi Oben and Moth both dead. Holding on the point, and well, Super's going to decide to back off after that one. Sinatra, you know, he gets the parting gift, which is Gamsu's supercharger, but that's about it.
All right, this actually works out okay. If you're San Francisco, you didn't really expect to win that fight necessarily. You're resetting ultimates. You're not going to have what you need. They switched around 2 minutes, which is the right time to do so. If they want to, they're going to have better speed, and they're going to be here a little bit quicker than the Mercy can get back. Kellick's still sitting in spawn.
Yeah, exactly. Kellick's is only just now running back. There is an opening here, a chance for San Francisco Shock. If they can just catch out Kellick's. Kellick's is back into it. Sleepy decides to pull the trans, though. He's going to ferry everybody onto this point, try and set up that hard point defense. As Baby Bay goes charging through, dashing right through the hallways. Will not survive, though. Aim God finds that kill. Mistakes. No Joy with the tire again, but that's fine. They've got the edge so far. San Francisco Shock right now are dropping bodies.
I'm just kind of curious of the targets that they're trying to dive. They keep trying to drive this Orisa and Junkrat. You can dive an Orisa alone as long as there's no Junkrat there. And Striker's playing so far back that they're not presenting their dive target either. This dive has worked for San Francisco better than almost anybody in this stage 4 meta. Now their flanking ultimates come online as we hit about 40 seconds. This is their last push.
Yeah, you've got Moth with the Valk now as well, so is he going to get it preemptively out there so he can follow along with this push when it goes through? Super is going to charge on up, try and cut them in half. Striker has got the Impresight. Moth with the Valk though, and he's moving with the main body here. Choi just trying to dive on in. Choi finds Gamsu to start things off. Baby's got the blade out, but Aim God's countering it with the Transcendence. He's looking for a target right now, and he finds Striker on his own. That was a big kill. Striker out of the fight. Mistakes waiting around the corner. Baby not going to be able to reflect that nade. Sadly for him, he takes some damage, but they will survive for now. 1 tick picked up here for San Francisco Shock. This is the do or die fight. As far as they're concerned, we're into overtime. They need to win it.
They're getting all the kills that they need, and they should be able to pick up this first point easily. That very first kill onto Gamsu was strange. I wonder what prompted Note to leave him, because the moment they saw Note leave that fight, they dove him immediately. Gamsu was left out to dry there. There must have been some pressure in the backside to pull Note back for the rest of his peel, but Gamsu left all alone, dove on there. Nice play by the dive comes in.
So we will have the change back here. Super going back to Ryan and Baby Bay on the Hanzo. Here's a vision, or at least eyes on Note, what he was hoping to achieve.
Yeah, that was a little later in the fight, I think, or a different time than I was referring to, but it was interesting. Okay, now let's talk about the positive here. San Francisco, you know, everyone's like, oh, Tracer's dead, Brigitte totally counters Tracer. Nope, Sinatra would say no. Well, we'll probably look at his stats later, but he's been crushing it on the Tracer. I've been so impressed with his hero pool widening, how he's good on everything else. He's not a liability on anything else, and it allows him to go to this Tracer sometimes when you don't have a Brigitte. Like, how are you going to stop Sinatra's Tracer? No one's been able to lately.
Exactly, look at this.
Pressure.
Sets it up. Super's the one to collect the kill. There's the drive-by pulse bomb stick. That's Note surviving, though, with his Mercy, with Kelix alive with the Falcon there to bury him away. Sinatra and Moth both dead at the hands of Striker. So Boston Uprising, solid defense yet again. San Francisco not quite getting the push they were hoping for here.
Striker's been playing very well. This is what you have to hope for if you're Boston. If you don't have a Widow, you have nothing. I mean, it started off as the Tracer meta, but it's been the Widow meta in the entire Overwatch league. So far, quick look at Striker's stats, 53% scoped accuracies at 20 and 13 elims and final blows.
Yeah, Mistakes and Striker right now really hanging in there. Mistakes actually ahead, 20 elims, 14 final blows. No joy with the tires, but that doesn't mean that he isn't finding the results elsewhere.
It's just a trend. Everyone's killing tires lately.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's like Baby Divas, you know, it's not guaranteed you're going to get that remake now that everybody's so coordinated and killing you. Well, Baby Bay decides to commit the Dragon in here to create some space. That does cut Boston in half. Aim God immediately going to go for the Transstone. We're going to have the counter dive just thrown right in. Note with the self-destruct right in the mix. Sinatra had a bubble though, so he will survive. Choi gets demexed in the mix, but this is still a feasible situation here for San Francisco Shock, so long as they can kind of hang in here. Baby Bay does die, and Moth isn't going to be able to get the res, so it will be the reset.
Time to leave. They throw in that Dragon because Sinatra's at exactly 50% when that happens, or I guess because Baby Bay wants to switch. Sinatra at 91% now. A grab will be incoming. This man charges grab faster than almost anybody I've ever seen. At least pre-Overwatch League days, he was known for that, charging grab in like 30 seconds.
No, he is definitely a beast, but there we go. Oh, high-value targets. Kelix and Note both caught in the grab. San Francisco couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. It seems like the theme today for them is to win out in overtime. Point A and the second point, both capped in overtime. That keeps them alive here, hoping to tie things up. Well, I mean, they're going to tie it up. Now they need to pull ahead and pick up that third point. They have a minute and a half to do it.
90 seconds to round the bend, and I think this all comes down to your tank play again. Super has had a rough go of things lately, especially when he's forced to play on Winston. We'll see if he can find a shatter here. Sinatra only 30%, but over a minute, I have to suspect we'll see another grab out of Sinatra before this map is over.
He can farm. He can definitely farm it up. Again, mistakes. Let's see. Tire number X. I think 4 or 5.
Well, it's getting ferried in by a defense matrix as well, but doesn't matter. Yeah, I watched an interview with Time the other day. He's like, no one cares about tires anymore. Tires don't do anything. Yeah.
If you're lucky, you get value. If not, it's just par for the course. It burns time like Impresight. All right, let's see here. Moth will be able to res up Baby Bay. Super still holding on to that Earth Shatter and the high ground. Oh, knocked up. Was wondering that could have been a hero. That would have been a crazy Earth Shatter. Knocked up, surprise Earth Shatter, but it's not meant to be. Super decides to hold on to it a while longer.
Tries to get it under the cart. I don't think it knocked anyone down. He gets launched the air again. The fadeaway fire strike. Style points.
Style, and yeah, now Note, Kellick's trying to stay in here. Note will get the remake. Just barely. Super ejects him from the point, but they are right on the edge of San Francisco Shock. It's about winning out this fight. Striker has been killed by Baby Bay.
Another
And yes,
grab.
now we've got the grab.
He's gonna teabag this. Devo
Exactly.
first. There it is.
Exactly, and they're all in it. Gamsu even gets sucked into his demise, and it's San Francisco Shock picking up the lead in this series, 1-0 in the end.
A slugfest if I've ever seen one. The final stats on deaths and kills. 51 kills for Boston, 49 for San Francisco. This one could be closer than a lot of people anticipated.
Yeah, it's everything we hoped for here. The real rivalry perhaps developing now that Krusty's over on the side of the Shock, watching his old team falter at the beginning. We're taking a break and we'll come back for map 2 after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
And they are just pouring it on. All of the kills from Boston Uprising in the end that matter.
Shock just trying to pull this one out of the fire. Shock nearly has it. They get it there. All eyes are on mistakes as Widowmaker here. Somehow the Boston Uprising have turned this around. It's Architect and Dante who saved San Francisco. Oh my God. This is dangerous. This is a big match for both of these teams. Bit by bit they stalled out. They've done it.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. So, San Francisco Shock, they managed to eke out the win in the end. They're up 1-0 in the series, and we're going to Hanamura next, Hex. So, you know, what do Boston have to do to turn things around?
Win Hanamura.
Okay, then.
Well, they've
Done.
never.
That's it.
They,
Yeah, let's.
they never have. They never have. They're 0-8. They've looked bad on this map since the beginning of time. They're just not good at Hanamura. They can't figure it out. They tried about 5 different compositions on offense last time they played it. None of them worked. So they're 0-8. I don't know what to tell you. To turn it around, they have to have something on Hanamura. But they got to go against Sinatra. And Sinatra's played so many different heroes for this team. He'll play Azaria for him, he'll play the Brigitte, he plays Tracer, but his Tracer is what I really like. This is what everybody knew him as, and coming in, we're like, is Dante taking Sinatra's job before he even gets a chance to play Mr. 150K right here? But look at these stats, look at these ranks in Stage 4. Stage 4 was supposed to be the anti-Tracer meta, but he plays smarter than he used to play. It's none of this triple blink and, oh, I didn't get the kill, rewind, now I gotta wait 2 seconds. He's waiting for the Brigitte to be out of position, he's waiting to find those prime targets. He's playing Tracer how it's supposed to be played. Oh, you're low and alone in the back line, and you're dead. And now I'm gone. I traveled back in time, but you're still dead. Like, I just love how he's playing. He's always been one of my favorite Tracers in all of Overwatch since even before Overwatch League. But now you can keep him in because he can play Junkrat, he can play Brigitte, he can play Zarya.
Yeah, no, it's just like he's sounding like Freddy Krueger or something. You know, he's in your dreams and he can become your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Whatever that happens to be. But he's there. You're not getting rid of him.
Well, my worst nightmare as a guy who plays a lot of Tracer is Brigitte. So Sinatra's an inspiration to me.
Dude, he is a beast, and everybody, you know, going into this in terms of Sinatra, what can we expect, etc. He was ultra aggressive at the start.
Yeah.
It definitely kind of tapped him a little bit. He needed to slow down, but the rest of this team is coming up around him as well. It feels like the whole thing is kind of gelling, and that, you know, Krusty's kind of like the icing on that cake. A crusty one, yes,
crusty icing.
You know, it works because now, you know, they have the talent in Architect. We have that sub there. You know, Baby Bay, Architect, Sinatra. You're going deep. Dante, you're going deep in the DPS side of things.
Yeah.
And then everything else seems to be coming together for this team to really start to shine.
Well, unlike Boston, San Francisco has options when it comes to bringing in different DPS players. Like, okay, you're gonna be our McCree main, right? Just focus on McCree. We might ask you to play other stuff, maybe a Widow here or there, but you're like kind of our McCree ace. That's Baby Bay. Architect gets to be like, well, you're gonna play some Widow too, but you're a Genji ace. If we need a Genji, you're coming in to play that. So, and then Sinatra's been the glue that holds it all together. He's like, yeah, I'll play all the other stustuff. Whatever else you guys need, I'll play all that.
And Dante's just looking a little somber in the background.
Well, Dante looking a little sombra.
Hey.
If we see them play so, boo me. I hated that. I hate myself. There's loathing building inside of me.
What are you talking about? We're on the same page. That's literally the joke I was making. Great.
All right, so on the offense here for Boston, they're gonna try the tried and true combo we've seen all day. 3 tanks, 3 supports, RZB plus Diva, and a Lucio and a Moira. A ton of healing. Teams that kind of figured out how to play against this. Florida had a good idea about it. You just chuck in as much damage as possible. And as soon as someone steps out of line, you punish them with your Widow. Architect hits that shot that he needed to hit.
Yep, there you go. The big beef right now is getting chewed up in the corner. Gamsu, he is getting, look at the healing pouring into this guy. They still can't find the kill on him, and he will get topped up again. But it's down to the rest of the team now. Look, this is what it's all about for Boston. Just withstand the pressure coming in from San Francisco Shock. Choyobin will find the kill on Gamsu. Note gets DMA'd, and it looks like San Francisco are actually going to hold in this situation.
Well, all the kills are permanent as well because they're not running a Mercy on the other side. So Architect did not get rezzed in that situation, but now he's going to come up from a different angle behind the rest of the team. With Aim God out, that might just be it. You only have a Lucio to heal now. They are going to keep trying to go. It looks like the retreat signal is on. A bubble's going to save them on the way out. Super's going to yoink note off the edge.
That's a minute fight, nearly all of it happening on the point, and not a single tick of progress made for Boston Uprising.
Well,
that is tough.
That's why you hold stairs, though, because that counts as the point. You see that little box right there? Orisa puts one of her 4 legs on that point, and you're just holding right there, chunking in so much damage with Sinatra, and this is the hold. Look at where Architect is. He's not with this group. He's on the other side of things, trying to catch them on the entry.
Well, now Mistakes has gone for the rally. Everybody getting the armor on top, topped up, and we're ready to go for the push, rotating around. But hey, guess what? There's another choke point here, and I can throw an Orisa shield down there as well. Super gonna give ground, back up. Not gonna find the kill. Mistakes thought for a second he would be able to get the bash and convert that, but it doesn't happen. Choi will find the self-destruct kill on Kelix. We've lost Sleepy as well, so they are trading back and forth. But again, San Francisco Shock, with the fact that Super can just keep throwing down these shields and play these choke points, they've been able to hold on for quite some time.
Able to get a couple of kills though. We'll see if Moth can bring anybody back to life in this situation. He's low himself and Calyx is gonna sneak up behind him. Architect's able to take down one, but I don't believe that's gonna be enough. Not with Moth out of it now, and it's time to go. Choi might just launch himself off the edge here. Might just ask for a little bit help dying. They will oblige him. Send it back to spawn. Now Boston has a snowball potential here with both of their CC ultimates up. Earthshatter and Graviton Surge. And another Coalescence. Coalescence charges so fast.
Listen, when you got the big beef targets in front of you, man, everybody's soaking damage, you're AoE healing, you're just cranking it out. There we go, Coalescence online. There's the Lighthouse shining the way onto the B point. And guess what? His tanks are lining up as well, so he's able to get that healing and the damage going at the same time. Grab gets thrown in here by Striker. Where's the follow-up? Not quite gonna be any follow-up, it looks like. San Francisco Shock so far holding their own. The Shatter gets thrown in by Gamsu. Sinatra barely hanging in there. He does die eventually. So they will be looking for that first point. Can they make the progress here? San Francisco Shock right now are dropping one after another.
There's a nice Transcendence by Sleepy to keep them alive, but they got to start getting kills. They even allow the Remac from No. That usually does not happen at these high levels. That it's a regular Remac, not a self-destruct Remac. And Boston rolling through this now. A rally gonna top everybody off. And there goes a Soundberg. How do you ever get through all of this HP and armor?
Not gonna happen, mate. That's the answer. It's just not gonna happen. A perfect snowball through from Boston Uprising, picking up speed and never stopping until they crashed in and leveled that San Francisco hut. So, San Francisco now. They get to go over to this offensive side. We'll see. Do they decide to run the big beef, or are we gonna see a different variety of the dive?
Well, San Francisco was one of the first teams that did this, so I would expect them to try it at the very least. Try the triple tank, triple support, get in there. But I don't know. San Francisco has run a lot of different stuff, so nothing they would do would really surprise me at this point. A little surprised how quickly Boston took it, but that's the danger of the snowball right there. When you're rolling in and you've got Shatter and you've got Coalescence and you have everything going for you immediately. There's also a little bit interesting that the Orisa for San Francisco was sitting on the high ground, drop bongos alone. Like, yeah, they boost your damage, but boosting Orisa's damage, is that super helpful? You'd rather boost some of your stronger DPS damage? I don't know. A small mistake.
Upgraded the airsoft cannon that you're rocking on that arm to like a 22 caliber, you know? You're still, you're hitting a little bit harder, but...
Congratulations, you can kill a squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a whole lot. So... we will be getting the Gamsu on Orisa here for Boston Uprising. The stakes on the Junkrat and Striker on the Widow. So, standard fare as far as the defense is concerned. Similar approach to what we saw from San Francisco. San Francisco will be curious to see if they decide to stick to their guns here and go for the dive. Is an option to get up onto that high ground, really take the fight to Boston Uprising with Architect.
Boston's had some success with this composition, the Junk Widow Orisa. They held Valiant on the second point of this map prior, and Valiant, of course, a very, very strong team right now. The problem was they lost this map because they couldn't take first. That seems to be remedied right now. So their defense has looked good on Hanabi Fur. Again, 0-8 on this map throughout the season.
Yes, you can see there a little bit of a tidbit was reading at the bottom right. San Francisco still fans of the Tracer. Architect will be sticking to the Genji after all.
Let's dive it. Let's go. Full on dive. Imagine they're going to try to go right side. Try to deal with the Widowmaker first, and then you've got free reign to pick your next target. So Sinatra's lurking over there. Architect kind of just jumping up and trying to keep eyes on him. Sinatra goes in alone against 3, mistakes chunk spot. This one's over.
This one's over. It's done. Back off. Write it off. Get out of dodge. And yeah, Sinatra, it looked like he was trying to take the fight straight up with Striker, so he was distracting Striker at the beginning, but it wasn't enough with Moth dead.
You can distract Striker all you want. Mistakes doesn't get distracted. He's just throwing nades.
Well, it is constant. You don't even need to see anything, right? The job is perpetual. Junkrat is in constant overtime.
Sinatra is in the back lines, though. He's sitting back here. He's going to try to pressure Striker again, but Striker's got pocket on him. He might be getting double healed right now. You're going to need a friend to help you take them down. So Architect trying to put some pressure on. They're just trying to sow discord.
Exactly. They're testing right now the ability to rotate and communicate for Boston Uprising. Moth, first to die again, back to back. Striker to find the headshot there. Sinatra takes down Calyx though, but then you lose 2 on the San Francisco side. Without those heals there, San Francisco just can't hang in this fight.
If they can reset quick enough, this might be okay. Sleepy's got to get out of here though. because they're going to have faster spawns, and because they got Calyx towards the end, they might be able to push in here with a small advantage, but they have to know this. They have to exploit this window. And now this is really smart. Note's going back to ferry Calyx across the bridge so he can Guardian Angel. Now Calyx back in the mix. Window closed.
Window's closed, and now you're back into the hard work. 2 minutes, a little bit above 2 minutes here for San Francisco Shock. Halt combo there. Sinatra will be able to get topped up again thanks to the pack. No worries there. And so, but the issue perhaps is that they are split up. Sleepy and Moth still stuck at the choke point. Rest of their team, however, have made it through. Sinatra now going to be on the point. And looks like Moth and Sleepy will find an opening now to get out. Architect finds Striker. That's the big start here. Sinatra with that stick will eliminate Gamsu. 2 kills, and now Kelly, you got your work cut out for you. Which one are you going to go for the res on? If at all any self-destruct goes off, finding no kills. But now San Francisco are in a prime position. They're grouped up as 6 on the point, ready to hold.
Here comes a tire from Mistakes. It's going to have to be big if they want to stop this first push. Oh, Primal Rage at the end. Choywin goes down, though. Architect able to take out Note as well, and they're knocking people away. This is an interesting Valkyrie on the point from Calyx as they're trying to continue to hold this. They're going to wait. The tanks get back in. And the focus fire has to come through. Gamsu very low. Here comes a Blade. Forced that out at least, but now Transcendence is out. Boston better win this fight.
They have to at this point. I mean, Moth has decided enough is enough. I'm going to get the Valk into this as well. Architect getting chased back. Moth is dead. And San Francisco stumbling in the end. 2 ticks of progress made, and that's going to be it. They have to reset. I think Moth was kind of holding onto it, expecting his team to kind of win through there so that he could have that for like the snowball.
Boston's super committed to that. They looked like a questionable Valkyrie at first, but Calyx was keeping progress on the point, waiting for his tanks. No one was able to deal with them. Then they came in through the Transcendence after it too, and Moth leading the server right now with 6 deaths. Not a great stat for a Mercy.
No, that's a real tough one. It's a question of the tanks not backing him. Nice attempt there by Architects to really blow somebody up, literally, but he is going to get focused down. The damage is there from Mistakes. Sinatra takes down Gamsu, though, so we will have a trade 1-for-1. Main tank out of it, but they're dropping bodies here, San Francisco. They're losing players, and that's not going to help things here in this push as they only have 15 seconds left on the clock to pick up point A, or we will have a tied situation in the series on maps.
They're going to have to zoom Yada in. Sleepy is the only one with an ultimate. They do have 6 seconds, so it's not panic time. They're going to be able to get to this point.
Well, I don't know, Superman. Woo! You can't drop the... Oh, yes, he does die in the end. It just took too much damage trying to make his way onto the point. Moth soon to follow. Sleepy blown up by Mistakes, who finally finds joy with his tire. And it's going to be Boston Uprising tying up this series. Now, there isn't really a whole lot that San Francisco can hope to do. Choi, last one alive here on the point. Sinatra not too far away either. Super might be able to make it back in just long enough to keep it alive, but with everybody alive here for Boston, it's just not going to be possible.
Hey, guys.
There is the desk getting ready for their segment that's going to be coming up after the break.
So Super is one of my favorite people straight up in the Overwatch League, but his Winston play has been confounding lately. There's tech that you can use to turn away from people to avoid headshots. He lands with the least amount of health of any Winston I've seen. He's always lands with 5, 10 HP. That's a small thing that needs to be fixed. We'll see what the desk has to say. We'll see after the half.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, Doa, thanks for the ride.
No problem.
I've got something you've got to hear. This car has a pretty good sound system, right?
Yeah, the best.
Excellent, because we're going to need to hear the whole range to really appreciate this. It's a thing of beauty. You ready?
I am as ready as I'll ever be.
This is Monte Cristo, and today we're going to take a look at a strategic breakdown of the latest match between the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Seoul Dynasty.
Of all
right
the
off the bat, we're going to get a couple of environmental kills. But
I hear it.
At the
I
response as
feel
well
like I've
from
heard
the
this one
side
before.
of the
It's
Seoul
like
Dynasty. Visual
honey
goes in,
dripping
you'll
into your
notice that on
ears,
the
all of the
opposite side,
treble and the
Seoul will
bass
bring in
working
Miro
together
and
in
Munchkin
perfect
to
harmony.
pressure
Oh,
the support
it's a
players
thing of beauty.
from
It's
the
like an
Gladiators.
Ancient
Quickly,
Norse
Big
deity
Goose will be the
decided
first
to
one to
open
fall
his
on the
mouth and...
You just don't appreciate art. That's it. That is definitely it.
Shamelessly original, the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
And we got a good one, folks. The Shock started things off with a win on Kings Row, but Boston got the full hold on Hanamura to even things up at 1-1 here at the half. And welcome back to the desk, everybody. And, you know, there's been so much talk about this being Krusty's revenge. And I feel like the desk kind of got a little ahead of itself here. This is a kind of awkward.
No, it's not. No,
What?
not at all. We just didn't believe hard enough, essentially, is what's happened here.
Brent, how did you find time to construct a shrine to Krusty?
Again, don't worry about it. But what you should be worrying about is making sure your offerings are suitable enough. I have got a lot of crust here, a lot of crust of bread. That is, would you like some?
Yes, please.
There you go.
Feed him in his mouth.
I'm planning. I think that what Shock
I'll
needs
take
to
one
do.
too. You got it. Give it.
Sure.
Come on.
Shock need to
Uh,
sacrifice
there you
IDDQD
go.
halfway through this match and offer him up as an offering to our Lord and Savior Krusty.
Well,
That's their route back into this
Do you
game.
have any water?
No.
Actually, the offering we're missing.
Bread and water. Yeah. But I do think we got a little ahead of ourselves.
I
here.
swear I am a professional.
Yeah, maybe. We might have got a little bit ahead of ourselves. I have to swallow this before I talk. Please go.
All right, let's just go to the highlights for Kings Row and Hanamura. Brent, break it down, buddy.
No,
You shouldn't have eaten the bread.
I really shouldn't have, mate.
The crust.
Yeah, King's Row's not bad, isn't it? Good map.
The Boston Uprising did actually look improved. That's what you got to say. To get it back to a serious point for a moment, the
Sure.
Boston Uprising do look a lot better than they have done
recovery.
previously. And this is their slow kind of adaptation to this meta, I think. Because they were making decent use out of this double sniper composition. Yes, San Francisco Shock held them in this final portion, and it didn't look too bad for San Francisco, but it really was difficult for the rest of the Shock to be able to take point A. Having said that, once they got point A, it was pretty much a steamroll towards the end, and they did look pretty... they easily closed it out in the final portion.
Yeah, they were looking much stronger. I can also see the influences that the Krusty's had on this team. Shock are now playing a lot more passive, thinking about a lot more of their plays
More
here.
calculated.
More calculated, exactly.
Sure.
More methodical.
Well, you know what isn't really calculated or passive at all? It's this triple tank, triple support that we saw coming out from Boston on their attack. And it just seems to be the meta on Hanamura, honestly. Being able to play these kind of triple tank or quad tank compositions or whatever and just rush down your enemy gives you times like the 4-minute 16 they had there. And you could not have seen a more different approach from the San Francisco Shock. They tried to dive, it didn't work out, and here we are now with a tied half.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's completely irrelevant to the game?
What?
Halfway through the Kings Row clip, nobody saw it, but I was laughing so hard that I almost choked on the front. And I'm glad that nobody saw it.
that would have been a human sacrifice that San
would have
Francisco Shock needs.
They would have been winning, wouldn't they? They would have been...
I specifically told you not to say that, and you did it. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Okay, so now I understand that Sideshow, you wanted to tell us something.
I do.
Please get us back in the rails.
I do. I have a moment to talk to you guys about, because Hex was wondering, what happened with Note in this first point. So you can see the time on the clock here. There's only 30 seconds left, and this was San Francisco trying to push point A. And so Hex's question was, well, what happened to Note? And you can see his positioning over here for the Boston Uprising. He is going to be with Gamsu, and his idea is to protect Gamsu over here, because otherwise they're going to run him down. He's a very diveable target. And so this is a concept that we call juggling the diva, and you can do this with any hero like the diva that has to balance playing with the front line and being able to peel for the back line. And so what they do is they throw Super into the back. You can see Super's just about to jump up here. So this is Super. Obviously, he got his Primal Rage, and he's going to be trying to get into the back lines. And that forces Note to try and peel for him. So look, Note now dragged way out of position. He was forced from that front line all the way to the back. And so I'm going to dial it backwards a little bit, back in time.
What was that?
That's like a screech, a record screech as we go back in time, obviously. And so you can see that as soon as Super dives into the back and they know that Note's gone, boom, here comes the dive. So instantly, Baby Bay and Sinatra are in their Choyobin, and they just run down Gamsu. So it's a nice coordinated play from the San Francisco Shock when their ultimates were online, for Super to distract the backline, juggle the diva, which means that she has to go backwards to defend the backline, and they're instantly diving in. So I like this. This is coordinated dive coming out from San Francisco, but they're very much playing on the edge when they're trying to run dive here.
Yeah.
They got down to the last 30 seconds here. They were full held on Hanamura A. This isn't really the dive meta. So in some some sense, they're trying to force it a little more than you perhaps should.
Yeah, you know, Bryn, how did you get the smoke behind the shrine?
Don't worry about that either, mate. Trust me, it's fantastic. I don't know if it actually even catches on camera here.
No, I see it very clearly.
There you go, wafting up, yo. Oh, no crust.
There you have it.
The magic has been revealed.
The illusion is dead.
Crusty. Oh no.
Oh
okay.
man, that may bode bad for the
no,
Shock.
That is a bad omen.
Bad omen.
We
right
may need
there.
to sacrifice
Whoa.
Brett. I think we have to sacrifice Brett. That's the solution here.
Can I have
clearly.
one final point to actually keep this on track a little bit?
God, I guess.
Sure. I'm pleased with the way Boston's been playing on Hanamura. I feel like they're a little bit more, they're playing up to a higher standard now compared to their previous games and actually looking a lot better in this match against a radically excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat there.
Or more bread.
Or more bread, apparently. It's still working its way down. But they are playing a lot better. They're playing up to a higher standard now. And this is good if you're a Boston Uprising fan, because you don't want to be losing this matchup now. And it's also promising in terms of your playoff dreams, because Shock are one of the better teams right now in Stage 4. So if you beat them today, it's going to be looking pretty bright.
Yeah, if it ends up with Boston winning here, I think we have to say Krusty was a false prophet and Huck is the one true God.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what's on the line on this match.
All
Rest
right,
of the game
well,
himself.
I think we're going to have to move on from this here because there's so much has happened, you know, just so much. But that's going to do it for halftime. Now, here's the thing. We have to mention this. And oh, by the way, shout out to Boss Baby Bay right there.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to point
It's
that
fantastic.
out. Just awful movie, but great sign. Okay, so we just got to talk to you guys about the All-Star game because Lord knows you can't rely on us to choose who's going to go into the All-Star game. So you get to go and vote. And that's right, it's going to be taking place late August. So looking forward to that one. All you got to do, go to blizz.ly/Intel All-Star Game to get your votes in. Pretty easy. Let us know who you think your starting roster is going to be. A lot of people are sharing their starting rosters on Twitter. I need to make one of my own. It'll probably just be Baby Bay, Baby Bay, Baby Bay, Baby.
I don't think that's possible.
You know, I think I'm going to just have him in every single spot there. And also just a reminder that not only can you go out there and vote for the All-Star game when it happens, of course, it's powered by Intel. We want to thank them so much for the support here. But you guys just get to impact and have some fun with this. That is the most important bit about all this goodness. So that's going to do it for us here at the half. Guys, don't go anywhere because we got to figure out who's going to come out on top in this series. It's going to be a good one. We'll catch you in just a few.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. It is going to be a tied situation, 1-1. They've managed to hold on Hanamura. Boston.
Yeah, a surprising result, I think, to some. But Boston has always been a good team, but they were struggling so much lately. I'm more disappointed in San Francisco than I am impressed with Boston. But now, as the map pool kind of moves on past Hanamura, Boston's got a better record on Lijiang Tower.
Exactly, and they've also got the fire, right? Both of these teams have got something to prove. Krusty, that he made the right decision leaving Boston to go to San Francisco. And Boston, they've also got to say, well, everybody's giving all the credit to this guy. You know, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. We are still good.
Yeah, still, the players got to play, regardless of what happens there. You can prepare, you can get all the coaching in the world, but you have to execute. Baby Bay is going to come in for Sinatra, an interesting substitution, taking Sinatra out. He's been playing for them mostly every map, so the Baby Bay Architect combination going to come in. Both of them very capable Widow players, but this is very likely because they want to run some Pharah and Widow at the same time. Sinatra does not necessarily have either of those heroes in his pool, so that's very likely why the substitution is coming in. And if San Francisco loses, I'm just going to blame the desk. Totally cursed them. They had a shrine and then knocked it down. It is sacrilege.
Yeah, the prayer, you know. Oh, come on, man. Seriously. Those guys are just such fanboys, though. It's amazing. Just ultra fanboys of the crust.
Of the crust.
That is what he's going to be called from now on.
The Church of the Crust.
The Church of Crust.
All right, we're going to kick it off here on Lijiang Tower. Very likely to see Pharah out of San Francisco. That is exactly what Architect is in. A little bit different from Boston. They once run a Tracer Widow. And again, Mistakes came into the league as a Tracer ace. He's definitely got this in his pool. It's a very nice look, though, from Baby Bay coming out. Kill Striker, that means they're down a Resurrection.
Down a Resurrection immediately. They also fall behind in terms of HP. Gamsu's going to have to rectify that by going for a pack aim god, though. I think that was a volley from Sleepy, but he nearly got clipped in one, so that was definitely a little scary for him. We'll regen that HP, and it's looking like San Francisco Shock at least take the lead on flipping that point. Striker again with the flanking Widow. Sleepy in a bit of a tight spot. Doesn't have to worry about it anymore, though. He's dead.
Most of the important kills coming from Boston, though. They were able to bring back Baby Bay, but now they're going to lose Moth and Super in quick succession, so they're going to give up some percentage. But you have to expect Boston's going to be able to turn this one around. They will just drive through and clear off the rest of the point, pick up a couple kills, add some charge to the alt fund, as Super's glad to donate to that one as well. 23%, and a one fight there from Boston.
Yeah, 23%, it's like 10% more, you know, just drawing that out. So now it's on San Francisco. No time wasted there from Baby Bay. Goes straight for the infra site, but it's countered by Striker. So now we're going to have like 20 seconds of them waiting around. Never mind. Baby Bay's going to take the fight again and win it again versus Striker. And yet again, Kelix is down his res. That didn't really seem to make too much of a difference in the last battle, though. So let's see. Can San Francisco take advantage of it this time? Well, we will have some justice reigning in, but that's going to be Mistakes getting to kill an Architect. Architect not getting anything out of his barrage.
Mistakes was lurking the entire time, hoping to set up a false bomb. Moth goes down again to Striker. Moth has had himself a rough last couple of maps here. He was at 96% on his Valkyrie as well. San Francisco's going to be pushed out of this. Architect switches. All right, so the fire is not working. It's very difficult to roll into it. And the moment they see this, it gets called out, and Mistake switches to Brigida as well.
No time wasted. So quick adjustments made. I like it. Well, we will have the Brigida versus the Bridget going at it. The double Bs.
Brittany versus Brenda incoming.
Oh, there it is. A little bit of a headshot. Striker with the grab. Going to be able to get out of there. And he is going to be, well, chased by Super. Super right now is fully committed to just making sure that Striker is not a part of this fight. Trying to create some space here. Drawing 3 of the players from Boston over towards the hut. That did create some room here for San Francisco Shock to at least try and find a winning fight on the point, but they're just not able to. Mistakes doing a great job right now of staying alive, of crowd controlling, and keeping those heals flowing. Self-destruct is only going to allow Choi to get a new mech, but Gamsu gets focused in the meantime.
Focused and stunned, ends up actually dying to a Venom Mine there, but this is still in control for Boston, and now they're going to rally up here. San Francisco's going to need a couple more kills to bring Sleepy back to life, but Baby Bay's still out of this fight. All the way back at spawn, and he's going to be joined by his diva, Boston. He's going to roll over this point as they clean up everybody else, and even if bodies come back on here for San Francisco, they got nothing to work with.
Oh yeah, no, there is not a whole lot here. 99%, they're going to burn down. Baby Bay can't get in fast enough. And the first point will go to Boston. And it almost feels like it was just a snafu that San Francisco made any progress at all on that point. This was fully in control for Boston, it seems.
They only got what Boston was willing to give them. Boston was sacrificing percentage for positioning. They're like 23% is absolutely fine. Mistakes has been the jack of all trades here. He's had to play everything that Striker is not. Here he is, he's gonna come in here. I do believe he gets Architect towards the end of this, right off the edge. That flail does not work as a grapple. You know, because the thing that Brigitte needs is more stuff in her kit.
Yeah, right. Now we needed an escape too. Oh yeah.
All right. So, as I mentioned, coming into this map, the records are 5-6 and 2-5 respectively. Boston could very easily go up 2-1 in this series over San Francisco. They've been on opposite trajectories in Stage 4. San Francisco much improved, a very exciting team to watch. Boston trying to keep their hopes alive.
Nice D-Matrix there from Note. Stakes taking no damage from the Rockets. Just gonna be able to keep plinking away. Tasty headshot there. And in the meantime, San Francisco Shock still kind of trying to find their opening. They are getting players low on Boston. There we go. First kill to kick things off. First blood drawn. As Sleepy will volley aim god. Kellix will get the res off, but that means that Note will get demec'd and destroyed by Sleepy. So Sleepy right now coming up with the goods for San Francisco Shock, and it will be San Francisco Shock looking a bit more comfortable on this point. Clean take, patient, and now they get to go for the push and really burn time off this clock for Boston.
There are times where Sleepy just wakes up and decides, all right, guys, I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough. Some of their early stage wins were largely because Sleepy would just have monstrous games. I think people are starting to take note of how good he can be. Babybay is going to take down Mistakes. Sleepy's working his way up to a Transcendence. San Francisco about to have a bunch of ultimates online.
Oof, the double dink, that's going to get Striker out of there. And yeah, Sleepy, this is what it's all about right now. Just getting the volleys, looking for the angles. Not really an answer apart from a counter volley. Babybay really going aggressive, but I like it. You gotta make these plays sometimes. Let's see if he's gonna pay for it though, and he will. Gets run over by Note, leaves a stain. And well, let's see, Striker with the tire right now could get a perfect flank. Nothing really here to stop him, and he will hunt down Moth. Whether he is Widow or Junkrat, he still finds kills on Moth.
That tire is able to find Painter because who's going to shoot it? You need your hit scan alive to be able to plunk down that tire. Babybay with the super aggro flank makes that a non-option. Now they're going to come back in. The Deadeye does not find anything there. Still holding on to the point though, and they've gotten most of their people back to life. There was a grab, it might have gotten eaten up. The barrage doesn't find a whole lot either.
Yeah, only the one, but instantly traded, and Babybay will be the one to find the headshot on Striker. So, San Francisco Shock right now, they need to contest, and they will. Choyoven puts a toe on that point, buying enough time here to keep it alive for San Francisco to continue extending their lead. They're up to 78% and counting. Self-destruct in the corner, no targets found. And while Super's just kind of hanging out here, it's Gamsu who's keeping hopes alive here for Boston, but he has to leap out of the fray. He drops a bit too low.
It's going to be very easy for Super to hit a shatter should he ever want to commit to it. The only thing that can really block it is a Winston bubble. The moment you find that, that is gone. You have no worries. There's a grab onto the point, doesn't do much. They're going to bring Mistakes back to life, but all for naught. Kellix is going to get in here. He's going to have to fly away. This is a tale of two stages. Walk right into a shatter. A victory Transcendence lighting the candle on this stage win as San Francisco brings it back on Control Center.
Yeah, Babybay even looks a little shocked there. Yes, it is a win, Babybay. 100% to 0, clean.
No, Babybay is just like, hey guys, we went 100% 0. Do you forget about that time that I went on that really crazy, stupid flank?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody please forget.
All part of the plan.
Exactly, man. It's layer on layers here. The mind games are real. But we are tied up right now, 1-1 on this map. Last point will decide it. And let's see, can San Francisco keep up the momentum, or Boston, will they rest it back? Curious, man. Sleepy really did step up on an individual level there. 5 final blows for him, waking up when his team needed him to.
Very important map for Boston. Next map we go to is Gibraltar, 1-6 on that map.
Yeah, that's another touch and go kind of moment. Architect on the flank. Needs to go ahead and get Moth over here to back him up, but yeah, they will make their jolly floating way.
And so when you see a Pharah rotate all the way that far, you have to imagine that it's going to be tank play onto the point. Everyone wants to back up. You just sit back here on these windows, fire in, take all of this free damage. No one's really going to be able to contest you, no great angles, and as long as he stays on a Striker's sightlines, he should be fine.
Ooh, he could find Striker here. Chance, that was a nice meaty rocket. A little bit of oh, we already have Babybay on the flank again, flanking McCree, runs out of bullets, can't confirm it. Architect, though, will connect with the rocket, and there's Striker. No, never mind, Mistakes. Of course, getting killed. So, Babybay with the flank that time, it was a little bit more successful. Gamsu will get the punish off on him, but Architect is still around here, ready to crank out the deeps, and Kellix Him dying pretty much snuffs it here. San Francisco Shock, nothing but orange in the kill feed, and they take the lead.
I hope this is a new style of McCree, much like we've seen the new style of Widow, of just be in the strangest places humanly possible that no one would ever expect. Just like, why is there a McCree there? Why is he there? A little surprised he didn't combat roll to reload there during the couple shots he got on the Zen, saved it. All works out for them in the end. Again, all part of the plan. Don't try to understand Baby Bay, just embrace Baby Bay.
Everybody wants to embrace Baby Bay.
All right, so he's gonna have Deadeye up here as well. It's very good against Baras, but not necessarily as good against this style of composition. Architects got Barrage, they're working their way towards their tank and support ultimates. Everything is sunny in San Francisco right now.
That's all definitely looking up, which is rare rare considering the rain that they get.
There's a good 10 minutes where the fog blows off the bay and the sun shines through.
You just savor it.
It's not as bad as Seattle.
Yeah, and then the Swedes are like, psh, they got nothing on us. Baby Bay.
What's the sun?
Dude, again on the flank. Look at this guy. Another kill. Both of the DPS dead. He'll take that trade because Architect is still out here to pummel Boston Uprising.
And they might even res him. Yeah, they get in position to res him, and no one just knows where he's coming from. And it's so frustrating to get flashed from behind. You're like, what are you talking about, McCree? You're supposed to be behind the shields in a place where I know where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be here.
Exactly. That's the thing. You know, you think McCree, you think hiding behind the Rhine, hiding behind the shields, just playing it safe. No. Baby Bay changing it up, rewriting the rules.
Grab and Barrage ready. They've got everything online to San Francisco. No longer with the Deadeye, though, as Baby Bay tried to get cute with that one. Does get punished for it. Now they're going to have a 6v5 opportunity, and Boston has to commit to this. You're not going to have a better chance. The grab does come in. Doesn't hit much. The stakes will go down, but they didn't get the mercy in that. There's the Earth Shatter, though.
And there's the barrage, but we will have Striker finding that kill, bringing it back. Tire right on through, gets the kill on Super. Both of the supports are alive for San Francisco Shock, but that's not going to be good enough. Just leave, reset. Baby Bay will survive with a shred of HP. And so they will flip, but San Francisco are at 99%. Now you can play a patient game.
They used everything there, though, too. They have nothing left. If you want to switch compositions, now would be the time, but this composition's worked so well for them that why would you bother? Meanwhile, Striker has taken to the skies as well. Baby Bay going to have to maybe not go for as many flanks and just put some pressure on the Far Mercy combo, but that has to be accompanied by Discord. McCree can't do it alone.
What's Gamsu doing? Oh, like alone, completely alone out there, though. Dying horribly. That really puts his team in a tight spot now. Boston Uprising, they're gonna have to trickle in one at a time. Note, barely survives. He will get demexed, and that's it. The moment that Baby Bay was waiting for. Will not be able to get the kill fast enough to survive the barrage. Striker finding 2 kills there, but the damage is done. San Francisco Shock now in a fantastic position to lock down this map and take the lead in the series.
Architect, third time's a charm, third rocket's a charm, will take down one of the last remnants here. It's desperation time. Notice he comes in here, but they're just gonna pop Valkyrie right in their face. Moth doesn't want to die again. They should be able to clean this one up and take the lead in the series.
Yeah, Kelloggs gets pasted. Striker as well. Who is left? Nobody. San Francisco Shock lock down the third map in this series. They take the lead 2-1. And Gamsu right now is going to be shaking his head. The rest of the team too, because it feels like that kill really opened the door there for San Francisco to allow them to get in and lock down that map.
They never really got to Architect. 25 and 13 there is his numbers as we go towards a map number 4. Boston has to play on Gibraltar, has to win Gibraltar to force us to a map 5. We'll see you after the break.
Are you ready?
Today, you're in for a real treat.
There's no stopping him.
That is it.
There we go. What a wild match.
week 5 of Stage 3, the Boston Uprising were looking to continue their perfect stage and pick up a victory over the Los Angeles Valiant in the final round of the tiebreaker map, Oasis. As the Valiant reached 90% control on the point, Mistake Sombra entered the control point to initiate the attack.
The front space can't de-suit, or resuit should I say. He was hacked in the process. Agility's now needs to find himself a Brady bunch of kills to get this one done.
Mistakes used his EMP as Agilities used his Dragon Blade to no avail, and Striker's Tracer began to rack up the eliminations.
He doesn't get any with the blade, but Calyx and Castro are both missing. There are no mercies at all on this point. Striker Pulse got me found fate. This is the Boston Uprising coming in now. They do it with alacrity. They have control of the point. We're in overtime.
Striker eliminated Space as Mistakes hacked Baby Diva before gaining a new mech. Next, Boston's Tracer followed that up with an elimination on Custa. After Mistakes took down Agilities, Striker used his Pulse Bomb to take out Fate. Boston went on to win the map and the match against the Valiant.
Incredible play, and now Space can't get there though. So close! But the Boston Uprising once again fended off their ninth challenger of stage 3. And you can see how difficult it was for them.
That right there was the turning point where Striker and the Boston Uprising turned a sour moment into something sweet. Presented by Sour Patch Kids Candy.
Hello and welcome back everyone to the Blizzard Arena. My name is Zoe, and at halftime I got to chat with Krusty from the San Francisco Shock and asked him if he would be willing to analyze his former team a little bit for me. And he said it was pretty obvious to him that they put some extra practice in and prepared extra hard for this match today. He said it was showing in the composition and positioning that the Boston was running a lot of stuff which he personally hasn't really been seeing in the past from them or when he worked with them. And one thing which particularly stood out to him, which he also called Boston's biggest strength, was Striker on Widowmaker. He said that the way that Striker does play Widowmaker is actually very reminiscent of how he plays Tracer, and he feels like that actually gives them a lot of strength right now. And we did see Striker on that Widow, and we also saw him on Junkrat bring the heat. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for the Boston Uprising to actually edge it out in the end. So the last map also went in the way of the San Francisco Shock. Now let's see if Boston Uprising can win map number 4. So let's head straight into the action.
Thank you, Zoe. Yes, so, Hex, it is almost as if you knew what you were talking about. Shocker.
Really? I know.
Yeah, Striker playing Widow.
I don't like Tracer.
Kind of like flank.
Yeah, it works out sometimes. There was a sign behind Zoe that said "Gone with a Schwind." I still can't say her last name, but like that's amazing.
Clever.
Very clever. Props to that side.
All right, that's a throwback and a half.
Sinatra's coming back in. We've seen him play some Tracer on this map for the team, and a very patient Tracer at times when he needs to. He's got the pool that they want to run with it. And no surprise that he's going to be back in. It's going to be Architect and Sinatra, the DPS duo. Also, running the Brigitte on this map has been a favorite for a lot of teams, especially when you get around 3rd points at the very least. Boston likes to run a double Widow into this, or a double Sniper into this a lot of times, until they get met with a Brigitte, and Brigitte has really stalled out Boston. So, instead of that, they're just going to run a Brigitte of their own.
Just run the Brigitte. Just the Brigitte. Get her in the fight. Start slamming faces with shields. Flailing them to death. A real Dom. Let's go.
Yeah, you know you're pretty strong when there's like a 2-ton mech and you're just like, nope! Ah, you drop the shield for a second. Architect punishes Mistakes out of this mix. They're gonna try to get up here and resurrect him, are able to do so. It seems like most of the fights tonight, Boston's lost the first hero, and they've always been down to resurrect to go into the next fight.
Yeah, and then they just kind of actually find an opening. That cost them a little bit on Lee Zhang though, so we'll see if they can make it stick this time around as Boston. Oh, look at the Striker, man. Looking for the big off angle, really trying to catch San Francisco Shock in a bit of a hard place. We will have the challenge though, and that's gonna open him up to getting shut down by Sleepy. So nice job there by Super with the pressure. Calyx also gonna die. Notes has to back off. And Note just barely surviving here, hanging on by a thread. They will get the D-Mech in the end.
And try to get the, oh, they're just gonna stagger. They don't care. They know it's a 9 HP. All Super ever has to do is just give a little bit of a tickle. Don't tase me, bro. Back to spawn.
She actually got her new mech too. How cruel is that?
Yeah, you give them hope only to pull it away.
Exactly.
You have to love that. At least Baker's not following divas around on the map.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Not too many.
I only brought that up so that he does. Sinatra goes down, resurrected immediately.
Look at what he's done. Now he's on Choi. Hex, what are you doing with me here, man? All right, Striker gets the kill on Sinatra. There's the headshot already. All right, so a bit of an opening here for the offense.
Sinatra died twice to open up this fight here. Rough for them. They're going to pop Valkyrie, though. Mistakes almost with Rally as well. Architect going to try to even things up. Architect able to take down Gamsu.
Continues to be the hero.
Yeah, nice new mech right there after the self-destruct. And self-destruct took down Kelix. Usually, you see the Mercy, that side of the kill feed. Everyone's going to have to back up and out. Aim got very low, looking for the finish. That's a nice chase down by Choi.
Yeah, golf clap for that one. That was real nice, Choi.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Because sometimes, you know, you see that it's there, but then they want to play it safe, and so they back off. It's like, no. Go for blood, get the kill, and then
Now, both of the new Orange Divas, both Choi and Sato, of course, on Philly, are very good at just flipping that switch immediately, knowing exactly where to be, when to be aggressive, when to back up. Rally does come in, though.
all the armor. You can see it just ramping up on Aim God. He's even got the barrier there to buff him further. But they are going to get control of that high ground here. Boston Uprising continuing to pour it on. Choi gets DMEC. That's not going to help things here for San Francisco. Shock. Architect dying makes things worse. And Boston might have found their opening to start making some real progress with the payload. 60 seconds on the clock. You better hope that they're going to do it. But Choi somehow snaked the new mech out of all this, and he's going to get out of here. No way!
Yeah, they're going to clean it up. Gamsu comes in, takes
Dude, they can't kill this guy!
Well, he's got
there we go!
Finally DMEC'd. This actually looks very bad for Moth now as well, as he's going to have to just walk right into it, give it up. They don't want to sacrifice a ton of positioning here. They know first is lost. You don't want to get split spawned. You want to be able to hold. This is the big fight for the defense. You got to stabilize here and then try to hold them in doorways.
Exactly. 3 minutes on the clock now for Boston after picking up the first point. No, going for the self-destruct to get a fresh mech. Creating space here to try and maximize the push on the payload, get it over around the bend as quickly as possible. As Super goes for the challenge on the high ground, this is going to be the main battle here. If you can control this high ground, you can drop down on the defense at will. Same goes for the defense, so.
Striker misses that early shot, but Architect saw that he was about to get plunked, so he's going to pop Infrasight as well, give him a little bit of protection. Gamsu's in the back line, knocks Architect off of his perch. Now we're just holding around the corner here. We're going to Valkyrie out from Kelix.
Yeah, both of the wings. Blazing. We will have, oh, mistakes! He gets deleted by Sinatra. Sinatra going for the rally as well, so getting that armor out. But mistakes before he can get his rally up is dead. He will get brought back to life, though. That should bring a rally into this fight. And he doesn't hesitate, throws it out immediately. So Boston Uprising continuing to pour it on here as they manage to cut Super off from his team. He gets overwhelmed. All 5 for San Francisco Shock now trying to back off and give ground.
They're going to DMEC as well. Now both tanks out of the mix, and that does not bode well for the remainder of the San Francisco Shock. Architect found out alone. I feel like San Francisco is something broke with their headsets or something. These have looked like very uncoordinated defenses. People are alone in several different places. They're going to res Architect, but Sinatra falls, Super falls. You res Architect, and it doesn't matter. Now everyone is cleaned up. Yep, off the edge, into the ocean there. Got a bad spawn. Gibraltar will punish spawn timings.
Yes, hello. So,
yes, hello. Mistakes playing very good on the Brigitte, sorry. Sinatra only has 2 eliminations, 1 final blow. Mistakes, on the other hand, 8 eliminations, 5 final blows.
That was a beautiful headshot there from Striker as well. Body shot on the Moth, keeping him honest. You gonna go throw yourself out there, mate? You gonna take risks? Not with Striker around. Quite a bit of progress being made here. Now Super is hoping to be able to challenge at the bend. This is the key position now for San Francisco Shock to try and make up some time. But Boston Uprising with this self-destruct, forcing them around the corner. Now the payload's out in the open, it's around the bend, and so if they can keep a presence going here, Boston, things are looking up. San Francisco Shock, they are hard pressed right now to hold.
Super so low, and because of all the work Mistakes is doing, yet another rally will come up, get everyone armored up here who can stay in that aura. Put themselves in an odd position in this room, but where's the damage coming from San Francisco? Finally a kill from Architect.
All the trances as well getting thrown into this here. Architect, yes, will be able to take out Gamsu, so the main tank dead, but Striker's there to find Architect himself. Back into a 5v5 we go. Super with the Primal is backing up, making sure that he's not going to get cut off from his team yet again. And what mistakes? Another couple of meters gained here. Note, so long as he stays on this payload, they are continuing to advance. San Francisco Shock right now. They need to contest, but they're lacking the meaty bodies to throw on that point.
Everyone on San Francisco is just getting outplayed by their counterpart. The Brigitte play, the Widow play, the Winston play has just been straight up better from Boston.
Self-destruct, not the best. Aim got, oh, 2 big kills. That's pretty much going to snuff it here for San Francisco. Sinatra is out of it. Architect as well. Sleepy dies because Moth was off-resing Sinatra. And now it's really just going to get out of hand. Yes, we've got rallies. Great. But the kills keep rolling in for the Boston Uprising. One last one, and that is going to be it. Boston Uprising will pick up all 3 points on Gibraltar.
Maybe trying to adapt to a different style of play than they're used to playing, but something went horribly wrong for both Sinatra and Architect there. They both lead the server in deaths, 7 for Architect, 6 for Sinatra. Seems like they could not stay out of spawn. No one above 3 on the side of Boston. Sinatra and Architect got just nothing done. Just nothing done.
Oh, they got bodied. You can say it.
They got bodied.
Dumpsters,
like quite literally
wrecked,
bodied, yeah.
torn to bits.
Mistakes just walked in on him constantly. Just walked in on him, and then bash, dead, bash, dead.
Yeah. Oh, it's that bash combo, and then if you got any kind of follow-up with your tanks or your Widow, it just results in a heap of dead bodies. And so you've got mistakes. He knows how to play aggro. He knows how to play that DPS role. So setting it up and, well, just knocking them down right now. Boston Uprising coming back to life here on the 4th map of this series. So they get all 3 points. And now it's going to be on San Francisco Shock to do the same here if they hope to avoid overtime.
If they can force us to Nepal, both these teams have a very similar record. 4-7, 5-7. It's a flip 'em situation. All right, we'll see what San Francisco's offense can look like here. They've run a lot of Widow Tracer on their offense. I wouldn't be surprised to see something switch up because that defense did not look good.
For all eyes right now, Mistakes looks like he's going to be going on the Genji to start things off. We will have that dive defense, or at least a variation on it. Striker sticking to the Widow. That should come as no shock, given this is Gibraltar. It's pretty much Widow's stomping ground.
Yeah, last time they had kind of an interesting mix where they ran a Junkrat and an Orisa, and they didn't hold a high ground and they didn't hold server room. They held the corner opposite of server room. And it didn't work, so they're not going to do it this time. But they tried.
They tried.
I think it's also comfort heroes. Gamsu much prefers to play the Winston over the Orisa. And Striker obviously would rather play the Widow than the Junkrat.
I like that.
No, I mean, the Bastion strategy is something you used to see a lot of times just to make sure that you could clear out any sort of bridge pressure. You just run it immediately, you're right back at spawn, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, exactly. Melt shields. So Architect, does get caught by the Venom Mine, but hell, that's just going to be more healing there for Moth. Tops him up nicely. Moth making progress towards that Valk. Pretty much mirrored on the other side by Kelix, neck to neck. And so
Sinatra on the Tracer. We'll see if he can get anything done, because if he does, Mistakes will switch over to that Brigitte immediately.
You would think. I mean, Sinatra right now, he is kind of farming, making progress towards that Pulse Bomb ultimate.
He got all the way to the back line. He forced both supports to go all the way back. He got to the Zenyatta and forced the Mercy up, but no one's able to capitalize on the lack of healing up front.
We'll be looking for it, though. There's Sleepy yet again coming up with the goods. Yet again coming up with a big kill. Gamsu will eliminate Super. There's the stick, though. Sinatra with the punish. And we will have Striker brought back to life, but without the main tank, this is going to get interesting here for Boston. If they lose Note as well, they have no big bodies to contest with.
Note's gone. They're going to heal him up, but Transcendence comes out as well.
Interesting.
Ooh, Moth fell, though. Moth and Sinatra both fall. I don't know if there are enough bodies here for San Francisco, and Mistake's going to make sure that there are not.
Interesting. This is definitely chaotic on both sides of things here. Some ults getting used, and well, now it's just going to be kind of reset as Boston are able to hold.
Yeah, they're going to be absolutely fine here. The reinforcements aren't going to come quick enough, and they continue to get kills. Joy should just be able to get a new mech out of this. Moth back in the mix, forcing out a Transcend. This has been wonky.
This is all over the place, man. Now Aim God throwing in the Transcend. I mean, it is going to keep Gamsu alive, but Gamsu had Primal. So, I mean, he could have tapped the Primal if he needed to stay alive, if he was feeling the heat. They are kind of just hanging in here, though. Choi goes launching his way in. Sinatra also with the pressure here on Note, trying to keep him low, but Note will get topped up. He's getting pocketed by Kelix, who's got the wings out right now.
Sinatra can't do much with 50 HP. If he goes in and gets whispered at, he'll die. So he gets in with the healing, now coming onto the cart. They just lost 2 again in San Francisco, and I think that might be time for a reset. You know what? Sleepy says otherwise.
Sleepy wants to keep the fight going. That is going to allow for Moth to get the res off on Sinatra, thanks to that Transcend. And now that's a big kill. Architect is there, but again, back and forth. It's just non-stop chaotic fighting here between both of these teams. It's been drawn out for more than a minute, and with no signs of letting up almost. San Francisco will finally push forward.
That was one of the most back and forth, drawn out, chaotic fights I've ever seen. Usually there's rhyme and reason and, most importantly, rhythm to Overwatch fights. That was like jazz.
Yeah, you didn't know what was going on.
Just play the right notes. What's so hard?
Some real Jenko there. Yeah, I mean,
Super and Gamsu both fall. One will get resurrected. That is Super back to life as the offense continues to roll through. No notion of a forward hold here for Boston. They have to get a couple kills if they want to lock them out of this. This next fight's so important. We talk about it every time on Gibraltar. Second phase, once those doors shut, you don't want to be the offense trying to come in.
oh, we got mistakes again with the blade here. And Sleepy will decide now is the time to go for the trance. He's looking for a target, but he isn't going to find it still. Should be happy with drawing out the Transcend. Aim God decides to stagger his just a little while longer before going ahead and committing. So we will have the healing throughput here for Boston Uprising, and that is going to play in their favor. Sleepy gets crushed under Gamsu's heal, but Choi is there to trade it. Both Zen's dead.
Zen's dead, baby. Zen's dead. And that is a gutsy res. It will come through, but at the cost of Moth's own life, Sleepy better earn this one. Super's gonna Primal Rage into this as well. They're gonna try to take this 5v5 as mistakes will fall. He gets stomped.
That payload, I mean, it's inching forward, but the contest is now in between Gamsu and Note with the self-destruct as well. Pretty much going to force him to back off and take a breather here, San Francisco. They're waiting for Moth to run back in. Super's going to have to jump his way back in. And that's Sinatra sent back to spawn. So
Need to live through that one. That's tough. They're going to be escorted back. Gamsu's going to get in there on the chase. They should all still live through this, or complete reset for San Francisco. And it's just looked discordant. All right, Sinatra over to the Brigitte. Architect will take up the Genji now. Interesting. That's a reset of ultimates. And again, they do it at the right time, though. I've always liked when teams change with enough time to get at least an ultimate up. 2 minutes guarantees you that all. 2-minute warning comes in. Here goes a blade for mistakes.
oh, wow. Yeah, mistakes. Decided he was turning tail. He was running, and then he decides to get back into that fight. Gets deleted by Sinatra. So now an opening here for San Francisco. Shock to press forward will be tough for mistakes, or for Kelix rather, to get that res off on mistakes. Gamsu as well, feeling a little bit of the heat, but he has his primal, so he will be able to survive this. Kelix with the wings out right now, just trying to chain heal the big beefy targets.
Of the starting core, I think Sleepy is the only one for San Francisco who's played consistently well throughout this entire set. Striker's able to take down Sinatra there before rallies coming online. Architect will take down Striker. Moss bringing Sinatra back to life at 91% for the rally. I think when he gets it, he's going to use it immediately. They're getting every kill they need. There's the rally straight off.
Yeah, exactly. Rally, no time waste. Get the armor, get Sleepy buffed up, and let that guy find some kills. And yep, sure enough, he'll get 2 out of those last ones. San Francisco Shock now with 60 seconds remaining. Will collect the second point. 2.5 minutes left on the clock for them to tie it up and extend this map. Got an eye here on Architect as he makes his way over the top. That's a feel-good moment.
Shuriken and the deflex. Deflex is one of the most satisfying kills to get on a Widow. Return to sender, right back to the dome. Architect's gonna have Blade up as well. More importantly, Sleepy and Moth both have all the armor from that last rally.
Yeah, they're gonna be tough supports to kill right now. And well, there it is. Again, just doesn't hesitate, throws it out. He knows that there's a trance online, and he still finds a kill on Kelix despite the trance. That's money. You force the trance, and you get the kill on the Mercy.
That's a fine trade, but they're unable to resurrect Architect as Moth falls to Striker. Striker's been punishing resurrections a lot of the day on this Widowmaker. They're still going to continue the push, though, because they've shown that you don't have to have a clean fight against these two teams. This is just bloody.
It's a brawl, Hex. This is what's going on right now. We're seeing the stools get thrown into it as well. Bottles flying through the air.
Someone just broke a pool cue over their knee, and now they're waving it around like a spear. All right.
Bit of a joke for you. Paranoid schizophrenic walks into a bar, and that is what we're seeing right now. It is brutal. Where do we go on this, though? Because right now, I mean, it's San Francisco kind of trying to play it safe, trying to set it up, but their hand's about to get forced. Exactly, 60 seconds left. Doesn't leave them a whole lot of time, so they are going to have to go running in. Kelix has got the wings online, Moth as well, and there's the rally from Sinatra to pave the way.
Yeah, Moth not getting much of this armor, but they do get the first couple of kills. One of them is going to have to be resurrected here. They choose to bring up mistakes as he is nearing a rally of his own, 95%.
And Sinatra right now just holding ground. This is what it's all about right now. Keep that presence on the point, get every meter out of it. And Choi finds mistakes, so no longer do they have to worry about the Brigitte for Boston Uprising. Sinatra's just still pummeling them right now. Note will go for it, self-destruct. Shield was up for Sin, no problem. And while Super now, the Primal wears off, but this has created a whole lot of room. Gamsu is going after Architect, so that seems to be fine. As Choi, once again, just going to go ahead, throw it in. They are contesting Boston Uprising every single chance they get. They try and take the fight on the payload. And Aim God now with the Transcendence, that might turn it. All of this healing could allow them to swing it, but no. Striker, Kelix, no. Everybody dying. San Francisco Shock, they're getting the kills.
It's the burst damage through the Transcendence healing. Mistakes falls, Kelix falls. They're going to need a miracle out of their tank players if they want any chance of locking out this map. Now we're going to play Gibraltar all over again.
Yeah, it's going to go again. It looks like round 2 here as Aim God is still kind of floating, but you need to contest on the point. The longer Striker can survive, the better. Nice little parting shot, but that's not going to be good enough. 3-3, tied up. They didn't have a whole lot of time in terms of, they were in overtime, obviously, San Francisco, so they'll have a minute to work with here going forward, but the important bit is that they've tied it up 3-3.
Really good Zenyatta plays from both sides there. Sleepy was ultra consistent. Aim God, who stepped in for Neko, has been just fine in that Zenyatta role. Yeah, every time there was a big play, there was a Transcendence up, and that was not an illusion in front of your eyes. It wasn't just a crazy light show from like staring at the sun. He had it up every minute. 02 did Sleepy, 109 for Aim God.
That's, I mean, they're neck and neck. Neck and neck.
No, I mean, this is a lot closer than a lot of people anticipated, just given the trajectory of these teams. But you got to think that Boston, still a lot of good players on this team, are not going to give it up easily. And this is about as close as you can get. 51-49 deaths from both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2 of those deaths were self-inflicted. So if you look at just straight up kills,
yeah, it's tied.
49-49.
This is great. This is what we were hoping for.
The crazy thing is that kill feed, I was stunned when I saw 2 or 3 oranges in a row, or 2 or 3 whites in a row. It was back and forth, back and forth.
Neither one wants to give up on this, but San Francisco Shock right now, they're the ones who are looking to close this series. The pressure's on Boston to take us to a 5th map. So now, San Francisco, not a whole lot of time, a minute. Means that they're pretty much going to have to play on the payload and eke out as much progress as possible.
Boston finishing with over a minute, finishing with 102 on their first push, really important, gives them that extra minute. So 202 to 1 minute on the push. I don't know how important it is on Gibraltar, because generally teams just give up a lot of ground and then take 1 fight around the bend.
Yep.
But in San Francisco's case, they might have to defend 2 fights. So that might end up being the deciding factor that sends us to a map 5.
You can see Boston right now, content to sit back, let that payload start to make its progress under. Sinatra going for the triple blink, really committing to that.
Well, because he's going to wait.
Yeah. Angle.
He's going to triple blink, but then he's waiting anyway, because he's waiting for his team to come in. So it doesn't matter. He just wants to get there quick. Now he's got all his blinks back. He wants to join this party up front, but both supports down there, so he's going to turn his attention. Nice alternating tank play, though, because they want to stop their progress, so they're going back and forth. That's a nice kill on the Striker, though.
They just need to keep the presence up. They need to stay on this payload. San Francisco Shock. If they can pick up this first point, this would be big. Boston, do they have anybody to contest with? No. Dies mid-air, and that is the first point picked up by San Francisco before the overtime wick even starts burning blindingly fast.
Good for that, but I think it's a decent move from Boston to give that up. You saw them all scrambling. They all got bad spawns, so they wanted to get out of there before the punish came in from the rest of the team, because you could lose 3 right there. Sinatra lurking, trying to take down mistakes. Pulse bomb.
Wow, what a kill from Sinatra. No mistakes, no brigade. Gamsu hanging on by a thread. He will get punished, though. Finally, somebody has ended this guy's reign of terror. Note will win that fight.
He just used the recall. Shouldn't have taken that 1v3. He thought he was going to be able to blink out, but he got killed before that. Also, that is a shot and a half.
Beautiful shot. Architect. The headshot on Kelix can make all the difference. Striker follows. Super there. And well, now Gamsu, he's having to back off. Note trying to do the best that he can to contest, but they're making so much progress on this payload. Self-destruct out of range to harm Architect.
Looked like he was going to shoot that. Like when you're feeling it like Architect, you're like, I'll just kill that self-destruct.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing, right?
I mean, there we go. They're finding all the key kills. They're rolling this forward. They're getting so much progress right now, San Francisco.
This is a crazy 1 minute push. I mean, you could walk this all the way to the end as long as they have the presence of mind to stay on the cart. I think that they're really only going to beat themselves right now. Another pulse bomb kill from Sinatra on the best possible target.
Exactly. No mercy again. Gamsu dead. Both of the big targets for Sinatra. Mistakes kills them, but it's too little too late here as they continue to eke out every meter. Every meter matters right now for San Francisco. They need to stay on this payload. And so we will have the rally coming in here from mistakes, giving that armor. Gamsu has got the primal as well. He'll be a tough nut to crack. And while Striker not going to be able to connect with that pulse bomb, unfortunately for him, with a trance thrown in by AimGod, just trying right now to keep everybody alive.
Sleepy needed to stay alive. He was at 98%. Could have had his Transcendence up, and with that falling, it seems like the throughput healing from Boston will be enough to finally stop this cart at the shuttle phase of Gibraltar. They do just that, but that's a hell of a push with a minute on the clock.
That's an excellent push. Excellent work from San Francisco. They've really set themselves up here to end this series. It's on Boston now with 2 minutes on the clock to match it. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible here. Boston have been looking good. Pressure is on, though. And now are we going to see the weaknesses that have developed in this team throughout this stage, where they start making some mistakes in terms of execution at the end? Gamsu at the end of Lee Jang comes to mind. You know, just weird calls.
So 2 minutes on the clock. I think if you're San Francisco, if you win 2 fights, you probably win this map.
You would think that's likely because it's not going to leave a lot of time to run back.
No, I mean, if you win 1 fight, that puts them already down to like a minute, and then that's going to be overtime. And then if you win a fight in overtime, you win the map. It's essentially it right there. There you see the San Francisco Shock colored box of victory. Boston's going to have to take it there to bring us to Nepal. And you know what? I'm not against some bonus Overwatch today.
Yeah, exactly.
Between
especially
these
Nepal.
2 teams?
Nepal is great, though, because
yeah.
you can see the big beef. You can see all sorts of different strategies on there. It's a lot of fun. So, I mean, that would be a great map. Even some Reaper. Maybe even see some Reaper. All about it. All right, let's see. San Francisco now on the defense. High ground occupied. Sinatra not wasting any time, goes straight to the Bridget. And Boston Uprising now, kind of the same idea here, it looks like. Mistakes. Bergita in play for him.
All right, we'll see if San Francisco wants to do this. Yeah, all right. So some teams, when you're in these overtime situations, will force you to fight right there because they know they can reset around first point anyway. And also first point, it doesn't matter if you get first point necessarily. The only thing that would mess up is your spawns. That is a nice opening kill onto Architect.
Are they going to be able to cover the res?
I'm not sure where he got killed, so we'll see if they res him. They are able to res him.
Looks like he dropped down to the low ground there, so.
I've seen this story before. You got Brigitte just holding that perch. She's so good at this because if you come up, she just knocks you down.
Yep, exactly. There you go. Case in point. Choi ejected. Mistakes now gets to hang out. Chuck down armor and healing to his mates, and that was a great pick. Super. Dead already. And not in a really easy spot to res. That's going to be difficult for Moth to get in there, even if the res is off cooldown. So they give ground. They split up. Super's trying to charge back into this fight. He's back into the fight. Moth and Sleepy kind of rotating around.
They're pushed back in the corner. I would like to see them fight here at the very least. Come out and stall, because if you can stall it into overtime, then you're going to have a couple good chances in the shuttle phase. But that kill is absolutely enormous on the mistakes. It buys them the time that they needed. Sinatra, 2 more kills. Sinatra on the Brigitte.
Where does he come from? And how does he find both supports? Striker trying to turn it around, gets revenge for his fallen mates, but now he's feeling the heat. He's got the pressure on. Exactly, Super's going to hunt him down. 35 seconds left on the clock here for Boston.
Rally's going to be online as well. This is Sinatra. This Tracer's been so good. He just takes this corner. Later, Dog flailing to death. A little questionable Transcendencer from Sleepy, but I think he was going low and wanted to stay in the mix. They're going to get rallied up here. Everybody gets the full benefit of this. And now it's going to be very difficult. Mistakes will have a rally of his own if he can stay alive. There's a lot of good ultimates coming online from Boston, so I wouldn't count them out of this one just yet.
Definitely. I mean, AimGod is going to have the Transcendence. That could be the deal breaker. That could make it all. So mistakes with the rally, trying to get everybody buffed up. Gamsu is already in that fight, but he's got the primal, so it's fine. And while they are going to decide to go for the tickle battle here, right in the middle of it, mistakes with the rally, it wears off. And so now it's going to be Super launching himself in, trying to cut them in half. Super's got his primal as well, and Sinatra's the one to fall first here to know with the micro missiles. Self-destruct thrown right over the point here by Choi. Not gonna find any kills, mistakes, and they're starting to spin this. They're starting to take control here. Super dead. Moth not able to get the res on either of these means that they have the long way back, and that's Super dying with primal as well.
They're gonna try to leave here right now, which is totally fine. And Sleep, even though I thought it was a waste of a Transcendence earlier, when you're sleepy and you get res every, Transcendence every minute, doesn't matter. He's gonna have it up for the next fight. Overtime now. If San Francisco wins a single fight, is able to push Boston off the cart, they will win the series.
Thing is, Sinatra dying so early in that fight means that he's got a lot of ground to catch up here for his rally. He is kind of closing it quickly, though, if he can get into that fight with the tanks to back him up. They are moving together here as a killer unit right now. San Francisco Shock, bit of the death ball. Architect, bit of a chance to shine. Perfectly done. Excellent work there from Super, trying to force Kellix out in the open. Architect not able to capitalize, but still, that did put Boston on notice.
Sinatra's able to match Mistake's rally, though, so he was able to get it up just in time. And now the Disco Ball light show goes on. Lights fade. First death could be huge here.
All the rallies as well. Note hanging on just barely. Great healing coming in here from Kellex, keeping the tanks alive. Note will get the self-destruct. That might catch Sinatra. No, he had his shield up just enough. And Choi is now the one who's kind of dancing on the edge. Gets his self-destruct, though, so now it means that he will have the self-destruct to get a fresh mech if he needs it. And there it is! Double kill on Mistakes and Aim God, and Architect snuffs Kellex. That's going to be it. San Francisco Shock will win in the end, 3-1. Taking us the distance, Hex. Excellent work from them.
This is such an important moment for the Shock maturity-wise, because so often in the first several stages, they seem to grasp defeat from the jaws of victory. They were an anti-clutch team. They just found ways to lose. Now they found ways to win. When they were getting bodied on the first half of that map, they turn it around. We got huge performances from Sinatra. Sleepy was old, consistent, did a ton of damage. Everyone on this team should be proud of themselves.
Yeah, indeed. That is a performance. That is a memorable one as far as you're concerned. And well, Krusty, you know, the crust, you can't handle it. 3-1 victory, and Boston Uprising, you know, just once again wondering what they need to do next year to get things to work, to get them back up to that stage 3 level of performance. So guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and perhaps the decks will come back and enlighten us as to what Boston needs to do after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel. Intel Core i7 powers the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
Welcome back, everyone. San Francisco takes the W 3-1. We're back here at the desk, and things unfortunately took a turn for the worse and got a little bit more ridiculous. What the hell? Like, really? Like, what?
Whatever do you mean, Alex? This is perfectly normal. You can see the offerings we have here to the Church of Krusty.
People have been traveling for
from miles around, delivering their offerings. We still have the bread here, but the most important factor that I want everyone to consider is that as soon as I wrote the sacred text on this pastry, they just started winning, you know? They just got the job done. So
is bread a pastry?
Kind of. I don't know what this is, but it could be, you know? And I gotta say, it's just, it worked wonders. They managed to clinch it.
It really did. I think we contributed.
I really do.
Can we get a close-up of this ridiculous?
Oh, it's great. It is great.
You can't rise up without Krusty.
You really can't. You really can't.
Okay, well, let's go to the highlights for games 3 and 4 and see what we got, because Li Jiang Tower was game 3 here, and again, this was just kind of just a good way to kind of bring us back after the half, right? You know, and just a crazy matchup for San Francisco.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, though. As much as we're talking about Krusty and bigging him up and everything and bigging up the San Francisco Shock, this game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Indeed.
And San Francisco Shock, I think, were lucky to be able to take it on a couple of these maps. You know, they were insanely close in some portions. And San Francisco Shock even looked a little sloppier than we've seen them in the past as well. So even though this team does have a lot of potential, and I think Krusty's actually done wonders for them in helping them improve as well, Boston played a lot better than I was expecting, and I think they're just around the corner of getting their first win in Stage 4.
And that's why I said in the halftime show that we did, you know, if you're a Boston Uprising fan, the fact that this match is so close against this new and improved San Francisco Shock, it bodes well for your team. It really does, because Boston now, they're still in the playoffs. They are comfortably in a decent position, despite the fact that they just have come back off of a loss. So they still have opportunities to come back and really secure that playoff spot in the near future, which is fantastic. And Gibraltar, I mean, it wouldn't be Gibraltar unless it went into double overtime, would it?
That's true.
It always puts up a good show whenever we come to this map, it feels like. And Boston, I mean, where they fell short was common issues that I feel like we mentioned before, which is they're just uncomfortable running the Brigitte a lot of the time.
That was so nasty as well. Architect really came alive there just before the time bank and in the time bank as well. And Sleepy, as Hex was saying, was charging his transcendences all the time.
Sleepy was insane.
Yeah, he caught up to Aim God and just used a spare transcendence in the middle of it, and then they're able just to stabilize here, and that 2K from Choyobin finishes them off. Yeah. But close game, a close match.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, maybe it was the Shrine.
I think it was.
Could be.
I don't know.
You know, it also could have been, though, Golden Boy, as well.
It's just, I want to take a moment to just talk about the fact that you took time out of your day to just cut up this little picture of Krusty.
Of course. I always carry pictures of Krusty with me, Golden Boy. At all times, in fact, I carry pictures of Krusty with me. In fact, it wouldn't be a day at work unless I had Krusty himself, you know, actually on my chest. So I gotta say, I feel like I've done wonders. I always carry Krusty close to my heart. You know, he's helped me through some tough times. He's helped San Francisco Shock through some tough times. Now getting them some wins. So he really has done wonders. Is this too far? Have we taken this too far?
I just want everyone to know this is a grown man right here.
Yeah. No.
This is a person who is we can claim to be in.
I wouldn't.
No, that's a boy that got stretched out like toffee at some point in his life.
You know what? Actually, that's a great explanation for Brenda. All right, well, we gotta go to our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP, and this was a tough one, but we decided to go with Super from the San Francisco Shock, and you know he had quite a few solid performances. This was tough though, because you guys were in between Sleepy and Super. Yeah. But why did you guys end up going with Super in the end?
For me, he was consistent throughout this entire match. I felt there was only 1 or 2 off moments from him, and it's rare to be able to place all 3 of the main tanks here, like Orisa, Winston, and Reinhardt, to a high level. And the one time I did actually notice this was when he was playing Reinhardt and he whiffed an Earth Shatter. And a lot of Reinhardt players, when they whiff the Earth Shatter, they get in their own heads and they start making mistakes off the back of it. It just snowballs out of control. But Super, the way he plays is cool, calm, and collected. And he always has an idea and a game plan in his mind of what he needs to be doing. And I just think we don't really pick him up a lot, honestly.
He's a young guy with a lot of potential, like a lot of the players on San Francisco. And I think that with the right guidance and development, he'll turn into one of the best tanks. He already is one of the best tanks in North America, alongside Muma for that title.
One can say he's super good.
Oh boy.
One should not say that.
Don't ever say that again, you bad, man. bad. Don't ever say
Food
that
fight. Oh man. Okay, so with that loss, Boston, unfortunately for them, they have a little bit of a road in front of them. Quite difficult because as you see there, June 14th, they're gonna have to go up against the Excelsior. But then they also have to deal with the Dynasty, who after that win earlier in the day, maybe they're starting to resurge themselves a little bit because they need to stay in the playoff picture.
With this loss, Boston are actually really at risk of slipping out of the overall playoff picture. You can see here, well, this is the Stage 4 standings, and they're down at 11th place, right alongside the Shanghai Dragons, really not having a good time right now. But they do play Shanghai and Florida, but even so, I mean, they're in 4th place and at risk of slipping down, because if they lose to the Seoul Dynasty, Seoul are going to overtake them. And Gladiators and Fusion are both rising up as well, more so than the Boston Uprising. So it's a tough situation. That game against Seoul is a must-win next week.
Yeah, that's going to be
for
a
both
toughie.
teams.
That is going to be a toughie. But here's tomorrow's schedule: London Spitfire versus the Dallas Fuel. Then the NYXL go up against the Valiant. That game is going to be insane.
Spicy.
And then we will have the Florida Mayhem against the Houston Outlaws. Let's see if the Mayhem can make that happen again. I mean, they were so close this time against the Dynasty, yet so far away.
Yes.
So far away.
Yeah, that first game as well could be great as well. The London Spitfire need those wins, and Dallas Fuel came off a close loss against San Francisco Shock, so they'll be wanting to prove themselves.
That's right, that's right. So we want everyone to know to stick around if you're the Twitch All Access Pass holder for a Q&A with note from the Boston Uprising. And we just want to say, bless you all, bless Coach Krusty, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Praise be.